Hey guys, it's game day. It's game day. And not only is it game day, we're playing the Cowboys. And everything seems to be going wrong right now. Everything seems to Deebo's not playing, Terry's not playing, Noah's on IR. So I'm bringing out the big guns. I am bringing out what I am declaring the good luck charm. You see this? How we looking? Is this what it takes to get a win these days? What you guys think, huh? How we looking, stream? If we can't get a win in this, then I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Guys, it is Sunday. We got about an hour until kickoff. Turn me up, Obi. Come on. You like this? I'm pretty sure my grandpa bought this like 40 or 50 years ago. He gave it to me as a gift. Joshua Phillips says, get rid of Terry right now. Man, we can't even get 60 seconds in of positive feelings. But hey, I get the frustration. I get it. Guys, it is Sunday. We're taking on the Cowboys here. Look, I know there's a lot of negatives to talk about. I get it. I know that everything's going wrong, but why not at least be a little optimistic? We spent all week worrying. There's tons of bad news all week long. It's Sunday, okay? What'd you guys do today? How about that? Legacy wear. Yeah, legacy wear. What'd you guys do today, huh? You guys spend Sunday morning at church, make some pancakes for the kids, watch some movies. What'd you guys do today, huh? Let me know. Let me know. I'm going to throw it up here. Guys, I honestly don't have too much to talk about. Seriously, I didn't come here with pre-planned topics or anything like that. I'm not mad about anything. I'm not happy about anything. I'm just excited. I'm just excited because the team's on the field. We have spent the majority of my lifetime, and I get it. Some of you guys got more years on me, but pretty much all of my lifetime, we didn't have a quarterback that made me think we could win any game. So the fact we actually have him now, I don't care if everybody's hurt. I don't care who else is on the field with him. I'm just excited to watch that man, Mr. Jedi, JD5. Bring out all the good luck charms. Bring out the superstitions. Give me 30 seconds. Don't click off. Give me 30 seconds. I'm going to run it, and I'm going to show you guys something you like. I'm back. Don't worry. Anybody who just joined the stream is probably like, why am I watching the video with nobody here? So, as a lot of you guys know, I got engaged to my girl about 2 weeks ago. That's crazy. It was only 2 weeks ago. It feels like a year at this point. We were down in Boone, North Carolina for part of our trip. And I had thought Boone being a college town, App State and all that, it was just I just heard the town name before, so I just assumed it was a big area. After getting down there, I found out it really wasn't. By the way, I'm going to take this jacket off. It's getting really hot. I got the big studio lights in front of me. But yeah, we were down there in Boone, and I just assumed it was a big town, and it wasn't. There was a lot of mom and pop shops and stuff like this. And one of them was kind of like a streetwear store with some vintage gear. And I saw this on the shelf, and I had to pick it up. What you guys think of that? I don't think there's anything on the back. Yeah, just a little view of the skyline, but what you guys think? Now, unfortunately, they only had one size, and it was a medium. I'm a large, but I was like, I got to get this anyway. And, if one day I get really sick and I end up in the hospital and I lose 30 pounds, maybe I can fit the shirt. So bring out all the good luck charms, bring out the superstitions. I'm going to keep this with me. I'm going to keep the jacket with me. Let me get this off the screen. I'm going to keep the jacket with me. I got one of the Brian Robinson Jr. Big hat noggin bosses. I'm going to have everything out here because, hey, one thing about this Commanders team 2025, they don't win 2 games in a row. They don't lose 2 games in a row. So if we're going by the pattern, today should be a win. But I get it. We're all worried. Although I got to tell you guys, look, stressing at this point, game day, like kickoff is 4 hours away. Just go watch the games. Go watch Red Zone, whatever your preference is. Don't stress. The boys are about to be on the field. The Cowboys this season got to pull up their schedule because when we talk about the Cowboys, it's like, man, that offense is great. And it absolutely is. But let's be realistic for a second. They beat the Giants in overtime. They gave up 37 points in a career day to Russell Wilson. And then they beat the Jets. And that's it for the season. Yeah, they scored 40 on the Packers and they tied, but then they lost to the Panthers. And they got smoked by the Bears. I know we lost to the Bears. That's a sore subject. But Caleb in that game had 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. It wasn't even comparable. His QBR against the Cowboys, Caleb Williams' QBR against the Cowboys was 89. Against the Commanders, it was 37. Not even comparable. So I don't really care if Jayden is going out there with I don't care if he's going out there with Jalen Lane and Luke McCaffrey and 4 guys off the practice squad. It's what we got, man. And what we got is a quarterback that I trust. So we spent all week worrying. Gosh, I'm sweaty from running to go get that shirt. We spent all week worrying. Leave it in the past. Today's game day. Let's just be excited. Is the new receiver starting as number 1? I'm assuming you're talking about Treylon Burks. He is not. And I don't have a report on that. I just can tell you he's not going to. Could he be elevated? I guess technically it's possible, although I don't think he is. Let me just double check with the Commanders team page real quick. Make sure we don't have any recent announcements. Again, guys, I don't have pre-planned topics really to talk about. So anything, like any questions, any thoughts, predictions, anything, throw them in the chat. I will get them up on the screen. And also, if you are joining me, make sure you hit that like button as well. I'm going to get out of here before 1 o'clock. Make sure you guys got time to watch the games. But until then, you guys get to have full access to me, whatever you want. Yeah, so we don't have any new updates. And if we look here, why don't I throw this up on the screen just to give you guys a visual? Why don't I stop being selfish? Make sure you guys can see what I'm looking at. Share screen. Okay, and then I'll take the banner off the screen. There you go. You guys see that, right? So this is my understanding off of these announcements from yesterday. So number 1, the receiver you're talking about, Treylon Burks, he was not mentioned here. It is still possible we get some sort of announcement, but the fact it hasn't happened yet, I don't think it's going to. We'll wait and see, I guess. Activated Sam Cosmi off the reserve physically unable to perform list. They released, we see that here. They released Jalen Holmes. They also released Tay Martin. So there was another spot. Noah Brown was moved to IR. So there was a free spot. Sam Cosmi's taking that free spot. Does not mean he's guaranteed to start. I don't want anybody to be disappointed if he doesn't. He could still be in uniform, but leave it to Andrew Wiley, but he could also start. So we'll wait to see on that. Activated Jonathan Jones here. The fact that Noah I hasn't been playing, the fact that Jones had a full week of full participation in practice, I think he's actually getting on the field. Released Jalen Holmes. They did not re-sign him. I think they might have already used his 3 practice squad elevations. I know he's been in a few games, and they didn't re-sign him, so I think he's actually out of the picture. Elevated Robbie Chosen, and then elevated Sheldon Day. So I think these are their 2 elevations they had available to them right here. So if that is the case, that means no Treylon Burks. It means your wide receiver core is probably going to be Luke McCaffrey, Jalen Lane, Robbie Chosen, Chris Moore, and maybe Ja'Cory Brooks is going to get on the field. And then Sheldon Day as well. Because with releasing Jalen Holmes, this actually, if you guys missed my preview, something I had talked about was moving Kinlaw to defensive end. These moves actually kind of paint that picture. I don't know if it's actually going to happen, but I'm cautiously optimistic, just selfishly, to say that I predicted the right call there. But I think releasing a DE, elevating a defensive tackle, I think that means you're going to get like Newton. You're going to get Johnny Newton and Deron Payne in the middle of the line, Kinlaw at edge. This is good for Dorrance Armstrong as well. I will say that if Dorrance Armstrong was not playing, they would not be releasing Jalen Holmes because then you'd only have 3 edge rushers. So I think you're going to get Kinlaw playing some edge with Dorrance rotating in there as well. And then Sheldon Day, again, as that auxiliary defensive tackle to help beef up the trenches. So I think that's where we're at with the team. Now, how do I stop sharing my screen? There we go. The one thing that I hate about using StreamYard is there's a lot of button clicking going on. I need a Stream Deck. Is that too advanced for someone with less than 3K subscribers? By the way, guys, if you are joining me here, why not hit that subscribe button? Shameless plug. Posting videos every single day. As always, I'm going to have the 5 names to remember video out later today after the game. If you're joining me here, you don't know what 5 names to remember is. That is my series after every single game where I break down exactly what happened, go over some stats, and then talk about 5 players that stuck out for various reasons, good, bad, and ugly. You will be getting that after the game today. I love it. The shirt and the jacket. Hail to the Commanders. Win, draw, or lose. Let's go, Commanders. Enjoy the game. I appreciate that, Dolores. Good luck. I don't know why I'm saying good luck to you. I mean, maybe we could get you on the field. Can you catch a pass? We're looking for receivers, and we don't have many of them. So if you can get out there, good luck to you, and go catch that flight. Go get yourself a one-way to Dallas. Why is every team able to pass on us like every game? There's a lot of reasons. We don't have speed. We can't. We were supposed to be a man coverage team, and then we found out our corners couldn't cover in man, so we moved to zone. But then we learned our corners can't communicate, and we don't have speed in the middle of the field, and we're putting extra stress on Quan Martin, and Mikey's got some physical limitations, and we can't tackle, so we have to play the run more aggressively, and that leaves you exposed on the secondary. Yeah. Saw you work in sports betting. Is it a fun job? How did you see that? That's my first question. How did you see that? Is it a fun job? I'll be honest. It was a fun job. I'm still incredibly privileged to do something that I'm passionate about. Working in sports, I love talking to you guys, but the fact that this isn't just a passion project, something on the side, the fact my career is actually in sports, I'm incredibly blessed, incredibly grateful for it. Sports betting is something that was really exciting early on. I've gotten into a whole bunch of different areas of the industry. I've tried sharing betting picks. I've tried betting large amounts. I've tried launching a business. I've tried writing. I've tried making multimedia content. And it's fun. Don't get me wrong. But the way that the industry is going, first of all, and this is not, don't get me wrong, guys, this is not revealing my political opinions either way. This is just a fact. Okay. That's your disclaimer. Trump's big, beautiful bill changed the gambling tax deductions. Previously, let's say you gambled $2,000 over the course of a year, and your net was you lost $200. So by the end of the year, if you add up your winnings and your losses, you had lost $200. You wouldn't pay taxes on it because you were in the negative. With Trump's big, beautiful bill, now only 90% of your gambling losses are deductible, not a full 100%. So that means that you can have a losing year and then pay taxes on your losses, or you can have a winning year, but after taxes, it's actually a loss. So I think the industry is changing. State and federal government getting a little greedy, trying to get some more tax revenue. Also, a lot of these companies, they're predatory. And that's the one thing I would say about it. So just be on the lookout. I'm not discouraging anybody from gambling, but just to let you know, and this is something that comes with working in the industry, you should always be looking to gambling as a form of entertainment. And you should always be doing your research, be smart, bet within your means, all that good stuff. So to answer this question, it is fun, but it is changing. And there's been some pushback as well. You're seeing that from some other companies. There are more avenues of the industry that are opening up. Didn't expect to get into this little tangent here, but I appreciate the question. Is it the zone defense that is letting the team down? It's neither man nor zone. It's just the execution. It's a combination of some of the limitations of the players, and it's a combination of the execution. Right now, with them switching to zone coverage, they have been largely predictable. If they get into a sim blitz, it's mostly a Tampa 2. If they're playing stock coverage, it's mostly a cover 3. It's just kind of predictable. Now they're going to mix things up. They're going to walk guys up to the line of scrimmage. They're going to drop them out. But again, when they do that, they are usually flowing into a Tampa 2. And then if they're down playing double mug and you get man coverage, it's a double mug blitz with Wagner and Luvu up the middle, and any sort of motion, real pre-snap motion, rub routes, things like that. It's kind of been the thing to undo the Commanders' defense. So there's lots of room to improve. You're not screwed. Like Dallas, I think Dallas is just screwed. I think their defense is horrible. I think Eberflus sucks. I don't think the Commanders are screwed. I think they are playing very poorly. So we'll see if they can fill the potential they have. We are going to win tonight. I said this in my game preview. Again, if you guys missed out on it, I said all week long, I was thinking the Cowboys were going to win. The Commanders were favored by, I think they opened as 2.5-point favorites. They then dropped to 1.5 in the middle of the week, even before the Terry news. I think sportsbooks just had a beat on that because when Terry was ruled out, the line didn't move. Heck, even when Deebo was ruled out, the line didn't move, but it did finally pivot. Now it's the Cowboys who are favored by 1.5. But I said it in my preview. I thought all week long Commanders were going to lose, got no hope. And I thought about it, and I said in my preview, the Commanders are going to win 31-30. So that's what I'm stick with. I'm still, things are never as good as they seem. They're never as bad as they seem. There's a lot of reasons for us to be angry. Some of the draft picks haven't worked out. The Terry McLaurin situation, the plethora of injuries. We have reasons to be angry. But is that actually a representation of what's going to happen on the field? We have to be able to separate and compartmentalize everything. So again, got the Commanders winning by 1 point. Thanks for the answer. Love your hard work, brother. Hey, I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody joining me, whether you agree with my opinions, whether you don't. Just the fact you're here and contributing to the community. Like seriously, if you're watching all my videos, you're leaving dislikes, you're leaving comments calling me stupid, I appreciate you because I want our Commanders fan base to continue to grow. I want everyone to have a platform to share their voice, share their opinion. And although this is my platform, in the sense that I'm the one making the videos, your guys' thoughts and opinions, always welcome. So as we go through this, every video, put them down there. Cowboys 49, Commanders 24. Hey, look, it's totally possible. The Commanders in 4 of their last 5 games, I'm sorry for anyone who's heard me say this before, 4 of the last 5 games, they've fallen into a double-digit hole in the first quarter. 10-0 against the Bears, 10-0 against the Falcons, 10-0 against the Falcons, 10-0 against the Chargers, 13-0 against the Bears, 14-0 against the Packers. If you go down 14-0 to the Cowboys in the first quarter, the game's probably over. Because I think you can win with these receivers. I don't think you can win falling into a 14-0 hole with these receivers. There's a difference there. Jayden, 4 picks and 2 pick sixes. See, all right. I know I just gave a whole speech about respecting your opinion. I don't think this is your real opinion. I think you're trolling. Jayden's never had more than he's had 2 interceptions. He had 2 interceptions in the second Eagles game last year, which was the win. He had 2 interceptions in the first Cowboys game last year, which, as we all remember, the Austin Seibert missed extra point. So that game was crazy, man. There was like 24 or 27 points in the final 4 minutes. That was seriously, we ended up on the wrong side of it, so we don't remember it as such. But like, man, that was an all-time game. Has he had another 2 interception game? Did he have 2 interceptions against the Steelers? Now I got to look this up. He obviously hasn't had one this year. He's only had 1 interception all season. Jayden against the Steelers. Oh, no, he didn't have any interceptions against the Steelers. I just remember him not playing well. No touchdowns, no interceptions. That's what it was. So, yeah, he's had two interception games in his career. So, for him to throw 2 pick sixes in this game with Trevon Diggs being out, good luck to you. I don't think that opinion is going to come true. This one, this could happen. Commanders defense stinks. This could happen. I don't feel good about the Monday night game against the Bears. Oh, you're not a Cowboys fan. Oh, I assumed you were just from the comment. Hey, come on, bro. Come on. Don't say this about our quarterback if you're a Commanders fan. Come on, what you doing? I mean, I don't feel good about the Commanders, or I don't feel good about the Bears game either. I don't think anybody does, but come on. Don't say that about Jayden. We say this about the defense. Don't say this about the quarterback. He did nothing to deserve that. All right. Time for me to share my screen with you guys again, because while we got a little break in the comments, again, make sure you guys are leaving your comments, put all your thoughts out there, everything like that. I just took myself off the screen. You can tell that I'm new to streaming here. Let me share my screen so that you guys can see an interesting conversation topic. You got that, right? Yes, you do. So I'm not going to, there's a whole article. I'm not going to show you exactly what it says because it's behind a paywall, and I want The Athletic to get their coin, and the author, which is Nikki Jabvala. You guys should know Nikki. She does great work at The Athletic, formerly the Washington Post. But I wanted to take a look at this question. She has a mailbag, and I'll just read it to you. And I want your opinion. So as we go through this, put it in the comments, and I'll pop them up on the screen. So the question that was posed to her is, after a season and a half, what do you think of Adam Peters' draft acuity? He's been heralded as a savvy drafter, but when you look at the 2024 draftees, other than Jayden Daniels, how do you read the potential of the other picks further down the line? Newton, Coleman, McCaffrey, Sainristil, Sinnott, McGee. I'd give the 2025 draft class a pass if they're just getting started, but would any of the players drafted last year, other than Daniels, strike even modest fear into an opponent's planning? So she says, I don't think you can make accurate projections about a draft pick after a season and a half, et cetera, et cetera. This is the important part right here. So 5 of Peters' 14 draft picks over the last 2 years are true starters. Jayden, Mikey, Connerly, Amos, and Bill. And 2 others, McCaffrey and Lane, rank second in the league in kick and punt return yards, respectively. Washington's 2024 and 2025 drafted rookies have combined to play over 7,000 snaps over the last 2 seasons, according to True Media. That's the most in the league through week 6. So the reason that I'm sharing this with you guys is it's a very popular topic of conversation. Again, if you guys want to read the full article, check it out, The Athletic by Nikki Jabvala. It's a very popular topic of conversation among the Commanders fans that we're not getting the young guys on the field. You know, what's the point of taking Benson in the second round if he can't get out there? What's the point in praising Jordan McGee if he can't get on the field? Yet when you read this, it shows the Commanders are actually giving more snaps to the young guys more than any other team in the league. I will say the fact that a quarterback is one of them it's going to inflate the numbers compared to a team that already has a franchise quarterback, because your quarterback never subs out unless they get injured, right? So if you have a Matthew Stafford, if you have a Josh Allen, a Patrick Mahomes, a Lamar Jackson, someone like that, you've already lost a position accounting for all the snaps in a season. But beyond that, there were some good points made. Connolly's been starting since week 1. Amos has been starting since week 1. Bill's the starter. Mikey is a starter. Newton is getting some heavy snaps. At the end of the season, I've been very forthcoming in saying I think Daron Payne is in his last year with the Commanders. Not because he's playing poorly, but because he's making so much money. I just think they want to put that money elsewhere. And when you draft Newton in the second round, you hope he's a starter by year 3. So she does make some good points here that the Commanders, they might be frustrating us with the whole Wagner and McGee situation. Can we get Luke some more snaps? But holistically, they are giving the young guys their opportunities. So just go to the comment section. Again, I'm not using this to drive a narrative or anything like that. Just let me know what your thoughts are. What do you think about what she said there? It's a toss-up only because it's divisional. My confidence in the D is 0.0, as it should be. Seems like coaches hold guys back as they bring them up through the process. I'm kind of glad they're forced into letting these young players cook today. Let's see what they got. Yeah, it's an interesting philosophical discussion as well. It's just what type of coach do you want to be? Obviously, the Commanders want to compete now while also building for the long term. So there's a fine line to walk between making sure your guys are getting their opportunities, but then also making sure you have that higher floor with the established veterans. But to this point, I'm excited. I'm excited to see Luke McCaffrey get a bunch of reps. Even last week, after he there would have been 3 straight weeks of big plays. Last week was the fourth straight week of big plays. Last week, he still only played 33% of snaps, despite Noah and Terry not playing and Deebo being injured. So with Deebo gone, can we get that number above 50? I'm excited to see it for Luke. I'm excited to see it for Jalen Lane. And honestly, I'll warn you guys, I still think Chris Moore is wide receiver number 1 today. He got the highest percent of snaps of any Commanders receiver last week. He led the team in receiving yards, caught a touchdown. Chris Moore is probably still going to be the number 1 receiver. So anybody who's got like injuries and fantasy football and is in dire need of somebody, while you still have time, you've got just about 4 hours until kickoff. Go pick yourselves up Chris Moore, because it's not unrealistic. He goes like 4 catches for 50 yards and a touchdown today. And if you're playing PPR, that's 15 fantasy points right there for you. I love McCaffrey. He needs to get more playing time. He's going to get his opportunity today. He's going to get his opportunity. Keep up the good work, my guy, HTTC. Hey, I appreciate that, Rashawn. Hope you're having a good Sunday. Hope you're staying blessed out there. Do we have anything else? Why don't we check the injury reports? Do we have any updates on Dorrance Armstrong or anything like that? Do we have a Dorrance Armstrong update? In case you guys weren't here just a couple of minutes ago, the Commanders did release Jalen Holmes yesterday. He was a defensive end. So the fact they did that and they didn't elevate or sign another defensive end. They didn't re-sign Holmes as a active roster player. I think that means Dorrance Armstrong is playing today. We do not have an update. Keeping it positive. We are injury-ridden, but here's where our seconds get valuable experience. NFL seasons are long and never go as scripted. We need to keep buoyant until we get healthy. That's a great word there, because if this team is going to figure it out, and a lot of that hinges on the defense, but obviously injuries as well, buoyant is a perfect word here, because, look, we're not trying to be perfect. That's unrealistic. But as bad as the defense has been, as bad as the injuries are, the Cowboys are a beatable team. And then after that, you've got Chiefs, Seahawks, Lions. If you find a way to scrape 2-1 in those 3 games, and you're 3-1 over this 4-game stretch, you're in a solid position. You would be what, 6-4 getting healthy with the toughest portion of the schedule out of the way. You still have the Eagles in 2 out of 3 weeks in week 16, 17, 18, but buoyant is actually a great word. I think I might steal this. When I do my game recap. I don't even know what's going to happen, but I just feel like that's probably a word that I will be looking to use. Just searching the timeline, just trying to get any sort of Commanders news. I don't see anything. Yeah, we got no news, no injury updates. Yeah, nothing. So the biggest news for me that I'm looking out, I've said this several times, Dorrance Armstrong, is he playing or not? And then Sam Cosmi. We know that he's dressing. Is he starting or not? Yeah, got nothing. Sorry, one final check. Just wanted to make sure. So, guys, here's a good question for you. Do you think that this is actually going to be a Bill breakout game? Maybe not breakout. The NFL world kind of knows who Bill is now. But do you think this is going to be legitimately 20, 25 touches for Bill? Because the Cowboys are probably expecting that, right? They're probably in their meeting rooms like, hey, they don't have Terry, Noah, or Deebo. They're going to run the football. They've been one of the best running teams in the NFL this season. We've had one of the worst running defenses. Let's just stack the box, crowd the line. The Cowboys should be prepared for that, right? The Bears had the worst run defense in the NFL by a country mile last week. The Commanders go 31 carries for 124 yards. That's 4 yards per carry. Bill gets 17 carries for 61 yards, 3.6 yards per carry. So the Cowboys, yeah, their defense stinks, but it's pretty obvious you'd expect the Commanders to come into this game with the mindset of running the football. So do they come down there and do they stack the box? And does that mean genuinely, if Jayden Daniels wins this game by going for 300, 350, 400 total yards of offense, I need him to get in that mindset. I don't know what song he was listening to before LSU played Florida a couple of years ago. If anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, let me pull up his box score. And after I do this, make sure you go watch the highlights on YouTube because this is one of the best games you will ever see. Jayden Daniels against Florida. It's a 52-35 win for them in the third to last week of the season. 1 week after he got injured in a loss to Alabama. His season's over. His Heisman campaign is over. He goes 17 of 26, 372 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 12 carries, 234 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. So he had a total of 606 yards and 5 touchdowns. And that's with college subtracting rushing yards on sacks. And he got sacked twice in that game. I need Jayden to get in that mindset. Eat the same food, put on the same underwear. Do the same stretches, get to the stadium at the same time, listen to the same songs. Whatever you got to do, he's got to be ready to ball. But if Jayden goes out with Luke McCaffrey and Chris Moore and Jalen Lane and Robbie Chosen as his top dudes, and he hangs 300 to 400 total yards on the Cowboys, 3, 4, 5 touchdowns, and they win this game, just build the kid the statue already. The supposed sophomore slump that he's in, look around the league. If you want a sophomore slump, look at Bo Nix, who it was ridiculous. Anybody tried to put him in the conversation for Rookie of the Year with Jayden Daniels. If any rookie out there deserved to be in competition with him, it was Brock Bowers. And I could respect somebody making that case because Brock Bowers was the best tight end in the NFL last season. So he's got to be in there at the very least with a chance. Bo Nix was not in the conversation. Bo Nix is having a sophomore slump. Jayden has gone from being maybe the 5th best quarterback in the NFL last year to about the 10th best this year. And I just have a feeling he's going to get better as he continues to get healthy with his offensive line getting healthy. And when he's no longer has practice squad receivers outside the numbers, I still think Jayden's that dude. Call me crazy. Call me crazy for thinking I have a future MVP as my quarterback. But if Jayden goes out there and does what he does after taking the team to the conference championship last year, dealing with this crew, think about any other quarterback in the NFL. There's not many quarterbacks out there who are there without their top 3 receivers, and you're thinking, oh, we can still win that game. Against maybe the best offense in the NFL, oh, we can still win that game. By week 12, Commander 7-5 would be great. So let's check out the schedule. I think week 12, is that the Miami game? We have the bye week after that? No, week 12 is the bye. Okay, so we've got the Cowboys today, as we know. Then we're at Kansas City on Monday Night Football. Short week turnaround for the Seahawks at home on Sunday Night Football. Then we've got the Lions and the Dolphins. So you say 7-5, so that means that we're going 4-2 over the next 6 games. That would be good. After that, we host the Broncos. I was just talking about Bo Nix. That's funny. On the road at the Vikings, I would still favor us, even though I always call the Vikings the best coach team in football. At the Giants, win that. You got 2 or 3 against the Eagles with a Cowboys game in there. So it's Denver, at Minnesota, at New York, Philly, Dallas, at Philadelphia. So 6 games there. If you're 7-5, 4-2, obviously. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm missing. How's 7-5 by week 12? Week 12. Okay, so we can't be 7-5. We would have to be 6-5, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games remaining. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games remaining. We're already 3-3. So if we go 3-2, we would actually be 6-5, not 7-5. So that's where I'm getting confused. So for 6-5, and then we go 4-2 down the stretch, that puts us at 10-7 for the year. Having lost the tiebreaker to the Falcons, lost the tiebreaker to the Packers, lost the tiebreaker to the Bears, that might get you into the playoffs. It might not. According to Pro Football Focus, if the Commanders win today, they have, I'm trying to remember the numbers now. I think it was if the Commanders win today, they have a 54% chance to make the playoffs. And if they lose today, it drops to like 26%. So today is a very pivotal swing game. It's like a swing state in an election. This is a very 4-3 is a lot different from 3-4. Got to go. Great channel. Check in for the game if you are streaming. Keith, I appreciate you being here, my man. I'm not going to be streaming during the game. You guys have no clue how locked in I am. My girlfriend or my fiance, I keep forgetting we're engaged now. My fiance probably hates watching the game with me because after every play, I rewind it. When the commercials pop up, I'm rewinding to watch the old plays. I got my notes app is full. You guys should see my notes app. I'm taking notes on basically every play, even though I'm obviously not going to talk about every single play when I make my recap videos. So one of the biggest struggles after every game finishes is I go to my notes app and I have to delete like a million lines. And at that point, I text them to myself, put them in a Google Doc, try to organize them. I end up deleting like another 2/3 of it. It's a real mess. But point being, maybe I'll stream one day if there's the demand for it, but I'm so locked in on the games, and I want you guys to be locked in too. The Bears didn't win that game. We had it won, and then we gave it to them. Jedi 5 will be on today. I've said this before. It's actually kind of funny because it was similar to the Bears game last year where one team deserved to win, one team should have won. The Commanders deserved to win the Hail Mary game. The Bears should have won it, meaning the Commanders totally outplayed the Bears the entire game, yet the Bears were in the better position at the end. They should have won, and then the Hail Mary happens. I think it's the opposite with what happened on Monday. I do think the Bears outplayed the Commanders. I think the Commanders should have won. They were in the winning position at the end of the game, and then they gave it away. So it's like the total opposite. Different pieces on the chessboard. We're swapping a Hail Mary for a Jayden Daniels fumble and stuff like that, but it was the same sort of script to me. The Bears, I'm not trying to take it away from them, but they had their best rushing game of the season, best run defense game of the season, more yards per play, more plays in opposing territory, better red zone numbers. Like, I'm mad as hell about the loss, obviously, but I also don't want to lie to anybody. All quarterbacks this season had a good game against the Cowboys. They did. Justin Fields had a good day against the Cowboys. You guys don't believe me? Here, I'll pull them up. I'm sure you do believe me. This is more for my own entertainment. So what happens? So Jalen Hurts had 152 yards in the opener, but honestly, that's an average Jalen Hurts game. And I'll give it to him. He was really good as a runner, 62 yards, 2 touchdowns. Next week, Russell Wilson has one of the best games of his career, 450 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. I already talked about Caleb, 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. Jordan Love goes for 337 and 3 touchdowns. Justin Fields goes for 283. Keep in mind, Justin Fields had 45 yards last week. In this game, he goes for 283 and 2 touchdowns with another 26 yards on the ground to bring him over 300 total. And then Bryce Young last week, Bryce Young only had 199 yards, but he did have 3 touchdowns and only 1 interception. He had a QBR of 53, which for Bryce Young is like a QBR of 99. Why don't I get you some stats on the defense for this season instead of just looking at it game by game for the Cowboys here. Their defense, give me like 5 seconds for this to load. The Cowboys this season are allowed. So I'm referencing EPA per play here. It's one of the newer stats. I'm sure we've got some new gen guys in here, but also some of the older crowd. EPA per play is basically a measure of scoring efficiency. How well do you do outperforming the expectations for your position? So if you're in 2nd and 7 on the opposing team's 40-yard line, what happens on drives in those situations? Other teams in that same position, how often do they score a field goal? How often do they score a touchdown? What do you do on that drive? That's EPA per play. So the Cowboys are dead last in the entire NFL in EPA per pass play. They're allowing an average of more than 0.3 points per play. They're allowing 0.3 points more per play than what is expected of any average team in that situation. Also, they are 28th in another stat called success rate, which is basically staying ahead of the chains. Are you winning down to down? So they're 5th to worst in down to down, last in scoring efficiency against pass plays. So their defense is just abysmal. Where are we in the comments? Oh, wow. We got a lot of them pouring in now. Guys, I really appreciate the turnout here. I know you could be watching pre-games. I don't really like watching pre-games, I'll be honest. As a kid, I thought it was fun. But I don't know. I don't want to sound full of myself, but now that I know a little more, I don't really care for a lot of pre-games. I don't care for the first takes, the stuff like that. First things first is all right, but most of those shows, I think it's just very surface level conversations. Give Luke the ball. We're all praying for it, man. I wonder how Wagner feels about fans calling him slow. I'm sure he's heard some of the noise. I don't think he's looking for it. I'm sure someone has brought it to his attention. I want him to I want him to know, not that he'll ever hear this, but I want him to know, like, fans aren't criticizing him for him doing something wrong, really. We're not unappreciative of him, or we respect Bobby Wagner's career. We respect Bobby Wagner, the person, the leader, and everything. He's just old. That's what it is. When athletes get old, they're slower, they're not as strong, they lose a step, and they retire. And Bobby Wagner's NFL professional athlete life cycle is just kind of coming to an end. So I'm not mad at Wagner. He's not doing anything wrong. Just getting old. Commanders need to rush for 277 yards against the Cowboys today. That's the magic number, huh? 277. The Cowboys are allowing, I'll tell you exactly what their numbers are. Cowboys are allowing, if I can get this to load, 142.2 rushing yards per game. That is the 4th most in the NFL. It's so funny. If you go look at a bunch of different stats this year, you'll always see the Eagles. I shouldn't say always, but the majority of the time, you'll see the Eagles down in like the bottom 10. It's really weird to see them down there. But aside from Lee Jihad Campbell and Quinyon Mitchell, that defense has not been performing very good this season. It's a shame, too. This 20-plus year streak of no team winning the NFC East in consecutive seasons, it's still on the table. The Commanders are only 1 game behind the Eagles after all, but they just can't get healthy. If we could get healthy, it feels like this is an open year for the taking. We're going to win today. I think, did you already comment this, or did I just click the same comment twice? Either way, I agree with you. Again, for anyone who didn't see my game preview, I got Commanders winning 31-30. Go Commanders. Go Redskins. Tom, I think you were in here earlier, right? Anybody who wasn't, check it out. I'm going to have this on during the game. This is officially the good luck charm today, along with Mr. JD5. Give him a chance to prove himself. Talking about Luke. Yep. Big Obi. We need this win 100%. This is a season-defining result. We all wanted to beat the Bears. We wanted to beat the Packers, and we wanted to beat the Falcons, but this 3-4 means the season's probably over. He he is that dude. Played uncharacteristically horrible last week. Now, with that out of the way, he's locked in. He's that kind of guy. Trust this. No one was more disappointed in him as him. I'm looking, assuming you just, I'm looking forward to seeing him on the field. I'm sure we're talking about Jayden Daniels here. Jayden, it's so funny because statistically, Jayden played a very good game as far as the actual defining moments of the game. You can't commit turnovers in the red zone. You can't fumble the game away. So there's all you listen to former players and like older fans talk about new school analytics, blah, 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 blah. And sometimes they're just hating. The whole world is based on efficiency. That's all analytics are. It's efficiency. The analytics loved what Jayden did in that game. But even though I am one of the new school kids, I am one of the analytics kids, he made the two biggest mistakes of the game. He made the two biggest plays of the game, and they were mistakes. So, yeah, I can't say Jayden played well. What I can say, he threw the ball exceptionally well. And that even with that interception included, overall, for him to command the offense the way he had, they scored on every drive in the second half until that fumble right at the end. He was doing it with the practice squad guys. He was spraying the ball. He was taking shots down the field. He was scrambling. Jayden did play a very good game. If he doesn't fumble, we're saying, man, that was awesome. But that one play makes us say, no, Jayden didn't play a good game. But I just don't want anybody to approach this game with the mindset Jayden's not the same as he was last year. That's not true. Jayden's still been awesome. Definitely gave that game to the Bears. That is the operative word here. They gave the game to them 100%. Literally, a fumble, literally handed it to them and gave it to them. Defense has to step up today. The word I've been using, and let me know if you think this is accurate or not, if you think this is a good description. I've said the defense has to be opportunistic. I'm not asking them to be good. They're going against the number one offense in the NFL. Dak's playing like an MVP candidate. George Pickens playing like an Offensive Player of the Year candidate. CeeDee Lamb's coming back. Javonte Williams has actually been one of like top 5, top 7 running backs in the NFL this season. I'm not going to ask them to be good because that's unrealistic. This defense is not good, and they might be going against the best offense in the NFL. So I'm not going to ask them to be good. I will ask them to be opportunistic. When you're inside the red zone, can you force them to kick a field goal? Don't give up the touchdown. Force them to kick the field goal. Think back to the New York Giants game in week 1. And I get it. There's some moving parts. Will Harris is gone. Dietrich Wise is gone. But there was so much pride in that defense, specifically the defensive line, when they got backed up. The Giants had like 6 or 7 plays from the 2-yard line, and they couldn't punch it in. They went for it on 4th down, didn't get it. There's the penalty. They go for it again on the next drive, and they don't get it a couple of plays in a row, and then Deebo chickens out and kicks the field goal. Bring back that pride. Catch an interception. Mikey, I know you've already got 2 this year, but there have been balls that have been thrown right to you. That one that Caleb threw in the red zone was right to you. Catch that one. Quan, force a number fumble. Just make the splash plays like the coaching staff, Joe Witt Jr., Dan Quinn, like they have asked you to, like they have told all of us. That's the identity of the team. We need to produce the ball. The ball is life. Let me see it in this game because you are right. In this game, the ball is life. And the ball is probably going to go in the end zone numerous times because the defense is bad. But you force an interception, you force a fumble, a 4th down stop. That gives life to the offense. We have to beat the Cowboys tonight. Yes, we do. Love this show, Grant. Keep it up. Appreciate you, Richard. Thanks for hopping in, talking with me before we get to the games today. I'm nervous. Pickens and lame. Pickens and lame. Am I being slow here? Is this a joke or a pun that I'm not getting with Turpin? Pickens and Lamb, of course. This is probably an autocorrect. Gosh. I was like, is that a pun on CD somehow? Pickens and Lamb. Yeah, I got it. Give me 1 sec here, guys. I got to get my protein shaken. I made this an hour ago, and it's just been sitting here on my desk. Hit the gym this morning. Did some curls for the girls, although I'm engaged, so I guess kind of wasted my time. It could have just been 1 curl for 1 girl. Could have been a 5-second workout, and I could have gotten out of there. I'm one of the most hydrated people you will ever met. I got this. I drink a full one of these with orange juice in the morning. This is, how many ounces is that? This is 24 ounces. I drink a full one of these with orange juice in the morning. I drink a full one of these at least every day. This is about 120 fluid ounces. I fill this back up and drink something when I go to the gym. I have 2 protein shakes of this per day. And then I normally have some green tea or some just a glass of water or something with dinner as well. So random tidbit about me. I've said this on the channel before, and this guy right here, this is proof of it. But I ran track in high school and college, and I remember I was a freshman. I was a freshman in high school in chorus class. I was a freshman in chorus class in high school. Wait, sorry, I see a comment here. Ever met? You mean ever meet? Oh, yeah. Good point there. Well, thank you for correcting that. This is a 50 game for the boys. Hope we can score with Lane, Calf, and more. Yeah, 100%. I was in chorus class in high school, and there was a kid named Cameron. He was a senior on our track team, and I had ran track in middle school, just for fun, just to be active. Always had a bunch of energy as a kid. And I remember I was in 8th grade, and we had our end of season pizza party. We lined up in the cafeteria, and they said, "All right, pizza's here. Everybody get in line." So we ran over. I remember my coach specifically saying to me, "Grant, that's the fastest I've seen you move all season long." and that's one of those things that you just never forget for your entire life. And I remember that that motivated the hell out of me. So I get to high school, and I'm doing anything I can to get faster. And this kid named Cameron says, "Hey," or he had a water ball kind of similar like this. In fact, it might have even been bigger than this. It might have been a little 2-gallon. I said, "Dude, why are you drinking so much water? Like, what's wrong with you?" And he said, "The more water you drink, the faster you'll run." So that night, I got my parents to drive me to Dick's. I bought a 2-gallon jug, and I used to drink that thing like once per class period. Imagine a gallon of milk, whatever's in your house. Imagine you were drinking one of those every hour. That's what I was doing while I was in high school. And finally, my science teacher told me, "Hey, you can overhydrate, right?" And so that was the first time I had heard about that. But there was a period of my life where I was like, I guess you can die from that. I think you can die from overhydration. And I guess I was probably at risk of being at that point. Anyway, some random lore about me. Come on, Grant, LOL. Yeah, my fault. My fault, Greg. Guys, let's see. We got about 10 minutes until kickoff on the 1 o'clock games. Again, I know we're playing at 4:25. Are we America's Game of the Week today, by the way? I would assume we are, because we are at 4:25. We know the media fanfare for Dallas. And these are rivals. So I would assume we're the America's Game of the Week. Dietrich Wise is on the trip with the team in Dallas to support his teammates. That's a nice little report I just saw. I'm searching. Oh, apparently there's a Jayden Daniels feature on Fox. Apparently they were talking about, I'm looking at a tweet here, but it says they were talking about his demeanor despite facing adversity for the first time. Maybe I should have watched the pregame. I was talking smack about pregames, and we got a Jayden Daniels feature. I'm sure we can check it out later. I'm just looking for any final injury updates. Again, I'm assuming Dorrance Armstrong is playing. That's the number one guy. I've said that's more important than Terry McLaurin's health in this situation, this game. We need Dorrance Armstrong. Got nothing on him. Yeah, it looks like we don't have any final injury updates. Yes. Feel bad. I don't quite. It's probably my fault because I wasn't looking at the comments. I don't know what yes is in reference to. I'm sorry about that. Hydrate. Yeah, my sister-in-law. Yeah, sister-in-law now. No, not sister-in-law. I'm my future sister-in-law, my fiance's sister. I'm new to all this stuff, and I'm not good with it. But she was up here and she saw me lugging this big old water bottle around, and apparently it incentivized her and her husband to actually buy some for their own. And now there's like a running joke in the family where anytime they finish one, I guess they text the sister, which is my fiance. She tells me, game of the week, I was saying yes to. Okay, cool. Yeah. So does that mean we get Tom Brady? I hope not. I also ran track in high school and college. I was told 2 hard-boiled eggs in the morning, you run faster in that evening. Really? I never heard that. I was told beetroot juice. Has anybody had beetroot juice? It is the nastiest thing you will have in your entire lifetime. I have said it's like licking dirt off of a potato skin. That's the way that I describe it. Now, here, you guys don't believe me about beetroot juice here. Let me show you what the power of what beetroot juice can do for you. I'm gonna share my screen. Every time I try to share the screen, I click the wrong button and I end up copying the link like I'm going to send it out to somebody. All right. Beetroot juice benefits. Look at everything it does for you: cardiovascular health, antioxidant properties, digestive health, nutrient content, other benefits, cognitive function, brain health, athletic performance. Also, I don't know if they're going to show it here, but sexual performance. It's supposed to help with helps your eyes. It helps your teeth. It can do here. Can lower blood pressure, exercise stamina, muscle power, reduce your risk of cancer. If anybody wants to try beetroot juice, and I just motivated you, take myself off the screen every time. Man, I hate that. If anybody wants to try beetroot juice, that I just motivated you to do it, go for it. It is disgusting. I will warn you right now. It doesn't matter if you drink it room temp. Doesn't matter if you drink it with ice. I think I used to drink it with ice because I would like, when I drink it, I would put an ice cube in my mouth too to kind of try to dilute it. And I would just suck on the ice cube, but it's disgusting, but it is like the best thing that you can have. At least that's my impression. Not a doctor. Increase blood flow. It does everything. It'll help you grow. If you cut off a finger, you might grow it back like a lizard grows its tail back. Beetroot juice will do anything for you. All right, guys. I think we are getting to the point. Yeah, don't let it frighten you when you go to the bathroom. Yes. I was definitely scared the first time that I went. I was like, that's not supposed to look like that. We are getting to a dark point in the stream that I didn't think we were going to get to. So I think this is my cue, guys, to get out of here. But I do really appreciate you guys all joining me. Once again, if you are here, I know the video is ending, but please leave the stream a like. YouTube posts the stream as a video after I get out of here, and leaving the likes does help it get it out into the algorithms. Any Cowboys fans who might be in here, good luck, guys. To the rest of my Commanders fans, let's have a great day today. Okay, game time. Yes, I will see you all on the other side. Make sure to be on the lookout. Probably around 9 o'clock or so, 9:30, after I finish recording and editing my 5 names to remember after the game. Whether we win, whether we lose, you know that I'll be here talking to you guys. So appreciate you all. Thank you for joining me. I will catch you in the next one. Hail, this is how we're getting out of here. See you in a couple hours, guys. Have a great day.